You, Representative Wilson. Let's go to Utah, where the chair of the Higher Ed Subcommittee is recognized. Burgess Owens. Representative Owens, you are recognized.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Herling, I'd like to ask you a quick question. Would you agree that, I guess what the question is, what is the priority of education, the child or the institution?
The priority of the education system should be to make the investments in our students so that they have successful futures.
Just is it the child? Is that the priority, or is the institution? There's two different focuses I think we're kind of dealing with right now.
Investments in the children.
Okay, child, okay. State of California, 2017, 75% of the black boys in the state of California could not pass standard reading and writing tests. Here in Baltimore, 3 districts, 0 proficiency in math. Should the parents of those children, well, let me also ask this. Would you agree the parents of these children care about their kids as much as everybody else, even though they're poor, black, Hispanic, they still care about those kids that are failing?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Would you agree that the parents of those children care about their kids as much as we do care about our kids?
Absolutely.
Okay, so in a situation where they're in these schools, should parents have a choice of leaving failing public schools to go someplace else?
So that is.
Can I just restate this? 75% of the black boys in the state of California fail to read, write, and think. Should those parents have a choice of leaving those failing public schools to go someplace where their kids have a chance to succeed?
The question you asked has limited the responses I can provide. The response to the actual question is we need to make an investment in these children.
Well, let me just say this. If we were talking about your child, I'm sure you would say, I want to choose someplace else. I've been hearing this for 40 years, that we need to reinvest in these schools. Guess what happens? Every 3 to 4 years, kids are graduating not understanding how to succeed as we're talking about investing more into failing schools. Should public school systems have the same level playing field in terms of the outcome as charter schools?
Well, I think the record should say that charter schools should have the same accountability. Public schools have vastly more accountability in state law than charter schools do.
Okay, well, so why are we having so much failure across our country?
Because
this is not just California, by the way. Everywhere, and by the way, let me just say this, it's happening more in black, Hispanic, and low-income, that this is going on.
Yes, Yes, so that's the elephant in the room in our country. We know that inequality is $20 billion more go into districts that are primarily white compared to districts that are primarily black and Latino.
Well, let me say this. I know that charter schools are in the same communities as these public schools. So if you go to a charter school where you have a majority of black, Hispanic, and low income, you go to the same public school charter, you're going to have the same demographics.
Yes, but here's the answer. So here's the answer to that question. So if I go into your local supermarket and I have $10 and I have to split it 3 ways, that's completely different than if we invested in a public choice system.
Okay, let me just say this because I don't want to get into too much of the weeds. I'm going to ask, and I look at this. The problem is accentuated, this is your statement, by a nationwide decline in K through 12 student populations in public schools. That could be because parents realizing it's not working for their kids. I think we have to understand this. How about if we look at best practices? If you thought about this, you look at what's going on in Baton Rouge. You look at what's going on in Success Academy. If those are working, should we not replicate that if the focus is our kids?
Well, I think that's a great question. You know, we have a district in Louisiana that's all charter schools, and I don't think anybody's arguing that they're a model of educational success. After Katrina, charter schools were forced on New Orleans, and nobody's arguing that they're a beacon of educational success.
No, well, we can also not have to argue that there's 75% failure rate in California. So those public schools are failing too. My point is we should have a standard for all of them. If it's failing our kids, they should not be part of the equation, right? Would you agree with that?
I agree we should have a high standard for all schools, absolutely.
Okay, that means public schools also. If public schools are failing, let's get rid of them. If charter schools are failing, let's get rid of them. Our bottom line is our output of our kids being able to sit and have these kind of conversations, to have a dream, the ability to move forward, only happens if they can read, write, and think. And for us to talk about putting down the best practices of college, of situations that are working, is we're I'm trying to understand why that's happening. If it's succeeding, if in Baton Rouge it's succeeding, New York, I go to Success Academy, upstairs in the same building is where Success Academy is, downstairs is public. The biggest disappointment are those kids in the same families. One knows they're going to be succeeding because they're part of that lottery ticket, and the other one knows they're not going to succeed because they're going downstairs to a public school system that's going to guarantee their failure. We need to focus on our outcome, focus on our kids, not the institution. And thank you guys actually for what you're doing. I appreciate particularly those in these communities that these kids have not had a chance in the past. Thank you guys so much for that. And I yield back.
Thank you very much, Representative Owens. Let's go to the great state of California, where the chair of the subcommittee